Okay, hello everyone. This will hopefully be the first of many devlogs covering the progress on this project. One I'm temporarily calling Gatecrashers until I come up with a better name. So what is it? Well, it is a sci-fi dungeon RPG. It's synthesizing a bunch of ideas from both old and new dungeon RPGs. There's a bit of wizardry, as you can see. There's a bit of Etrian, right? There's a lot of Strange Journey and Underknoughts. Because I was looking at sort of the way that they were doing their economy, and I was just like, okay, all right, this is actually pretty interesting space to develop on. So, usually one of these videos will play, and I'll sort of try to commentate as we go on. So this is floor 1, where we sort of start you off, and we basically want you to slowly acquire all of the items of your kit, while kind of keeping you kind of weak and hungry, right? It is possible to die in this tutorial, right? Like completely wipe. And that's completely fine, because the goal for this game, right, is to be quite difficult, but also that, hey, when you wipe, you sort of reappear at the last healing point that you were at. Here on video, you can see that we are investigating junk pile. These are like chests, but they're sort of a push your luck chest. There's a 70% chance of it turning into an ambush encounter. But the deeper you dig, the better the stuff you can get, and they refresh after you go through a couple floors, right? So one of the key mechanics I want to highlight is our use of formation, and how that affects aggro like very directly. So a couple of different games mess around with aggro systems, and I wasn't too happy with them. There was one called The Secret of Veronis that I actually really liked, where they were like, oh no, your positions actually matter, right? And there's an aggro multiplier for those who are at the head of the formation, and it sort of diminishes from there. But Secret of Veronis still has it such that even somebody at the back, right, is at ×1 sort of aggro multiplier. And I was just like, okay, there's good reasons for that, right? Like, you don't want somebody to be effectively untargetable. You can sort of like hide like a mage or sniper like type of character there. But I was looking at games like Darkest Dungeon, and how their sort of limited line, like 1D like formation, really sort of forces people forward, right? Like, you can maintain somebody at the back only so long. You have to kind of come out, right, and start dealing damage from the front. In specific parties, in other parties, you can feel fairly comfortable sort of hiding behind corpses, which I think is very funny. But yeah, so here what we're doing is that at the head of the formation you have a 2x aggro multiplier, and at the very back you have a 0x. So single target attacks just don't go to the back, right? Multi-targets still do, but they're going to be like fairly rare. And also like random target ones are treated as multiple single targets, right? So in order to like pull people out of there, how do we do that? Well, we have it be player directed. So because staying at the head of the line is so dangerous, we actually encourage you to cycle your characters, because this is a game with very limited sources of healing. There will be, if I can pull this off, there will be no in-battle healing whatsoever, right? Rather, as you can see, you equip shields and they give you temporary HP. If you guard and don't take damage during the time you're guarding, your shield will recharge, which is like a bit of a risky way of getting back health. So how do you do that? Well, you want to be at the back of the line when that happens, right? So you basically have to make sure that somebody with a little bit more HP, right, that can soak up more damage, is at the front, so that somebody who's injured can recover those resources at the back. Okay, here we have a fight against a Roller Warden. This is an early FOE style enemy, where the goal is to sort of initially avoid them, but eventually be able to overcome them. Rather than the FOEs being like 5 to 10 levels sort of above, right, the area, our like level curve is a little bit more flattened, right? And so it is much more about picking up the right sort of pieces of your strategy, right, to deal with each set of FOEs. The Roller Warden is relatively easy. They do hit pretty hard, and they do have the first like random like multi-attack. But if you just make sure that somebody is up front guarding, and other people have sort of the basic weapon, the carbon knife, right, on them, that you are able to do like chip damage and eventually get them down. But one of the things that you'll note is that that was a pretty expensive fight, like healing resources wise. So as the party sort of searches here, they will get ambushed, and this will put them in a very bad position, right? Because yeah, they just came off a fight, they were weakened, right? And as you can see, as party members fall, they get sent to the back, right? And you cannot swap with somebody that has fallen, so it naturally pushes people up front, right? So if you start taking casualties, right, that safety of the back line, right, will slowly kind of wither away. This doesn't mean that solo parties or parties that having lost one member are going to be impossible, but they are much essentially it makes the situation more threatening, and I hope encourages people to run away. I do want it to be possible that you can run away from every battle, right? It's just like maybe the chance is low, maybe you need to do a couple things to increase the chance of running away. Even boss fights, this is the thing that Undernauts does, right? Admittedly, right, like it's because the bosses, there isn't like a story progression to get to them, right? So there's not like an urgency to fighting them. It's just you have to fight them eventually, and if you escape and come back, right, it still sort of makes sense, right, within their narrative. So here we sort of see the recombinators, similar to the sort of the fusion reactor or the research lab in Strange Journey, right? We want you to exchange a bunch of the things that you find through fights, through junk piles, right? And then trade them out for equipment. Any piece of equipment you run into, you can make copies of at the recombinator. Maybe there's like top end stuff that we probably only let you have like one copy of. But yeah, this is the core economy of the game, right? Is that you will run into gear that is suited for certain purposes, right? And then you may want to make a couple copies. So here, this Roller Warden fight is gonna go a little bit smoother because our party members have an Iron Wrench that deals crush damage, which is very good. Somebody also has a range weapon. So one of the things I didn't mention is that melee attacks will incur a chance to counter, both on the actor and enemy side, but range weapons allow you to ignore that counter. There may be a later thing that lets you lets people deflect or negate range damage, but for now, right, having a range weapon is very good. They're highly accurate. We'll actually see that in this upcoming fight. So here you're up against 0G roaches. This is an evasion type enemy, and so using melee weapons against them is effective, but you're gonna miss a lot, right? So ideally you want to be using a ranged weapon, right, which they don't have any relation to, right, and you are able to nicely take them out. Okay, that about wraps up this weekly report. I will hopefully come back next week and yeah, be able to show you more of floor 1BF or B1F, sorry. And yeah, that'll be it. Thanks.